Cheers, mate. Thank you. Mum, package up here for you.
Oh, that could be my new... It is! It's my new fitness tracker!
Seriously, you as well?
You can't move at the moment for people doing Fortnite emotes in real life, NBA stars doing the bandage rap, Dele Alli mocking everyone he scores against, like he's just shotgunned them from behind and nicked all their shield potions.
At this point, it's less a video game and more a cultural movement.
And from absolutely nowhere as well. I mean, we knew it was coming, obviously, and technically it's still coming, but I don't think anyone could have predicted how Fortnite would just explode from the depths and swallow the world of online multiplayer in one gulp, like a humpback whale at the end of one of those feeding frenzy scenes you always see in David Attenborough wildlife documentaries.
Here are 7 games that came from absolutely nowhere and changed the world. Please, will you stop doing that?
So yeah, in case you hadn't guessed, Fortnite is our first entry, a game that technically still hasn't had its full official free-to-play release, but is somehow already on its 4th season, while continuing to enrapture millions of players worldwide. The most surprising thing about Fortnite is that actually it's mainly a co-op PvE game about scavenging, building and surviving a sort of half storm, half not really zombie apocalypse. You might have played that. You might not.
What you've definitely played is the Battle Royale mode, released in 2017 as a free-to-play side dish, but that somehow snowballed into an all-you-can-eat PvP mega buffet.
Moisty Mire, Retail Row, Tilted Towers, place names that are quickly becoming absorbed into the lexicon of a generation. Everyone's got a favourite place to land and a strategy to carry them to victory royale. Mine is still land on that hill where no one is and hide until the storm consumes you.
That's fine. That's where I live. That quiet, stress-free place where I can convince myself I'm better than 83 other people without even really trying.
People who play Fortnite seriously though, not Nathan and Dave, they think they do but they don't, will spend hours in the game just training, erecting 3-sided kill boxes in mere seconds so that when they get shot they can put up a shield without thinking, practicing how to cycle through weapons and the optimum routes for looting each area.
It's serious business. You can't hide and hope your way to victory anymore like you could in the first few weeks.
Basically, I'm struggling to remember a game that's blown up like this with so comparatively little hype. Fortnite is so big, the world of video games is struggling to contain it. It's gushing out into wider culture. I might even have to bring out that P word I can't say without then singing that annoying song from the Muppets for the rest of the afternoon.
Phenomenon.
Right, let's cut that off before A, I go insane, and B, we get a copyright strike. Entry number 2 is a wonderful multiplayer game I first played when it was included with PlayStation Plus, Rocket League. This was a game I was initially determined to hate because it was one Dave recommended.
It just annoys me when Dave likes things.
But try as I might, I couldn't help but fall completely in love with it. I can't deny my relationship with Rocket League has been hard at times, although, to be fair, that's more to do with the idiot randoms who refuse to get back in goal than the game itself. But not many games have surprised and then hooked me like Rocket League did.
It was literally the only thing I played for about a month.
Lunch break, Rocket League. Home time, Rocket League. We made so many videos about it when it first released on PS4 that we joked about renaming the channel The Rocket League Show. The reason it's on this list though is because I hadn't even heard of it before it came out, and it's sort of my actual job to know about games that are coming out, much less heard of its PS3 predecessor, supersonic acrobatic rocket-powered battle cars.
And to be honest, I've unheard of that game every time I finish saying its name.
And then it came out and everyone went nuts. It still has a sizable esports presence today, and some of the stuff the pros pull off, like airborne backflip off-the-wall volleys and mid-air tackles and, you know, all stuff you're not seeing in this recent capture I've done, having not played the game now for about a year. There's a goal. Still got it. Entry 3 is Telltale's The Walking Dead, specifically Season 1, seeing as how that was the series that kickstarted what can only be described as a genre revolution.
The genre in question being adventure games, at one time a bright, burning star of video game storytelling that at the time of The Walking Dead's release in 2012 had pretty much all fizzled out.
Telltale themselves had dabbled in adventure games with Sam and Max and Tales of Monkey Island, and it's probably fair to say when The Walking Dead was announced, our reaction was,
Sounds good. Give it a go.
No one was expecting the atomic emotion bomb that dropped as soon as we were introduced to Lee and Clementine. Their story was so raw, so dark and personal. You had this massive, world-changing apocalypse, and yet The Walking Dead pulled the focus onto the journey of these two characters.
The fact you made every decision and faced every consequence only heightened the emotional connection between player and on-screen avatar.
And it didn't half change the gaming landscape. Adventure games have boomed in the 5 years since. The Wolf Among Us, Tales from the Borderlands, Batman, Game of Thrones, Minecraft Story Mode, arguably Life is Strange, all owe their existence to the success of The Walking Dead. What a game. Guitar Hero is our fourth entry, a game I really respect because I've never had any real interest in playing the guitar. I'm not a massive fan of rock or metal. In fact, I don't really like rhythm games.
And that has nothing to do with the time I sprained my ankle on Dance Dance Revolution while trying to impress Katie James at Hollywood Bowl when I was 12.
And yet, when I went to my friend's house and played his copy of Guitar Hero for the first time, it was like, I don't know, the first time you ever tried ice cream. We're talking proper life-changing stuff here. I just couldn't get enough of it. The thrill of feeling as though you're actually playing through iconic rock songs, of connecting to the notes with your own fingers, of hearing the crowd go mad.
It was unbelievable. Guitar Hero, for the first time in ages, facilitated this pure, childlike sense of aspirational play.
I had a Barcelona shirt with number 9 Ronaldo on the back when I was about 10, original Brazilian Ronaldo, and I used to score goals in my back garden, imagining the crowd going wild. Playing Guitar Hero felt the same. I don't know if it was the peripheral or what, but the real world seemed to dissolve into a dazzling cauldron of delirium whenever I picked it up. And the cultural impact was enormous. Every house party I went to in my late teens and early 20s,
And I do mean both of them.
had a room full of people playing Guitar Hero. Same thing when I went to uni, just stinking, sweaty dorm rooms crammed with people leaping about and crying as they attempted through the fire and flames on Expert.
In fact, now I think about it, and this is genuinely a true story, the first time I spoke to the person who is now my wife, it wasn't going so well until I mentioned Guitar Hero. We even played it together after our first date, and we decorated the guitar peripheral with the stickers I'd ignored up until then.
No idea where that guitar is now. I probably gave it to a charity shop. Guitar Hero though, I dread to think where I'd be if it weren't for you. Number 5 on our list is Overwatch, which didn't really come from nowhere. It came from Blizzard, possibly the least nowhere place in all of video games, but it did come from a place, I think, where people didn't know it would be as enormous as it now is.
And what I mean by that is, everyone knows the next Call of Duty is going to be massive, the next FIFA, the next Atelier Escher and Logi Alchemists of the Dusk Sky.
Overwatch, on the other hand, was, by comparison, a bit of a risk, you know. Does the gaming public want to play a multiplayer shooter starring larger-than-life cartoon heroes in which you all have to work cooperatively and tactically to achieve your objectives?
Yes, we bloody well do, is the emphatic answer to that.
It's brilliant, Overwatch, isn't it? Firstly, it proved we're all capable of playing support roles without instantly frothing at the mouth with killstreak withdrawal. And secondly, it's like a big explosion of happy has happened all over my TV every time I turn it on. I'm the ultimate Overwatch casual, as you've probably surmised from this footage, but I don't care. I have my fun, and that's all that matters.
Similar to Fortnite, Overwatch has become more than just a game. You know, it's a spectator sport.
I'm talking esports and streaming, literal millions of people tuning in online to see the best of the best, hammering away at each other. You feel part of something bigger than just a game when you play Overwatch. It's a cultural surge, the game show-esque thrill of being awarded play of the game and then plastering capture all over social media. The realisation you're cheering a stream with as much intensity as you would your favourite sports team. The fact you can still ignore your objective and go for a kill streak if you like.
Yeah.
Entry 6 is single player all the way. Back in 2010, Demon's Souls launched in the UK, a full year and 4 months after its initial Japanese release. It was a tentative move. People were worried this was a type of game we just didn't want to play anymore. You know, punishing, dungeon-crawling action RPG where you had to die all the time to learn how to progress.
Demon's Souls came out at a time when most games would launch a salvo of fireworks above the next door you had to open. So terrified were they that you might get stuck.
But as it turns out, if you make something bloody brilliant, people will enjoy it regardless. And so Demon's Souls found its niche. A niche that has now well and truly ballooned into the mainstream. But back then, it was like discovering a cool secret no one else knew about. Whispers of the hardest game ever. Amazing combat. Incredible boss battles. I was on a work experience placement at a UK games magazine at the time, and every day people gathered around the desk where Demon's Souls was being played to get a glimpse of this next big thing.
And now look what it's done. Spawned the Dark Souls trilogy and Bloodborne, arguably 4 of the greatest action RPGs of the last decade.
The Souls series has deservedly achieved legendary status, but its legacy is in the effect it's had on how games are made today. Storytelling has become deeper, coded into the environment, something the player can discover as they explore. Games don't hold your hand as much anymore. Screens are less cluttered with checklists and waypoints and mini-maps. Bosses are sometimes really hard.
It's almost like Demon's Souls was the moment video games realised it was okay just to be a video game, you know? You don't have to pretend to be a beautiful blockbuster movie. You don't have to make things easy for people. Just be a game. Be hard. Be rewarding. Be a bit dingy. Be something players will say they've beaten instead of merely finished. Most importantly, just be yourself. Virtual warts and all.
Our final entry is a game that really has changed the world of video games forever. It's so big, it's changed other things too, like the fact watching other people play video games on YouTube instead of playing them yourself is now a socially acceptable use of your time.
Thank you, Minecraft. If it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't even have a job.
Minecraft is one of those rare games that's gone so big it's now just mainstream. Everyone has heard of it, even if they don't play. It's a massive cliche, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's true. Minecraft is as big in the virtual world as Lego is in the physical. A cultural behemoth that's made the smash it, build it, survive it genre A massive thing.
Although not enough of a thing to have an actual name, apparently.
And it's the second best-selling video game in history, after Tetris if you were wondering, shifting a combined 144 million copies across all formats at the time of writing. It's changed the way we think about video games, about visuals and creativity and freedom, and it's revolutionised the way we enjoy them with others, be that playing with friends or watching your favourite YouTubers. And so there you have it, 7 games that came from nowhere and changed the world forever. Do you agree, or have any you'd like to add? Let us know in the comments, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and please do subscribe if you haven't yet for more of these videos every Friday. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.